Oops, I don't think I tagged you in this one.
It's okay. Just let it play.
Okay, we're on there. You want to do your part?
Are we ready? Oh. Like, we're ready. Oh. Good morning.
Good morning. Is our washer going?
Yes.
I can hear it. That's funny. It's awesome. Margaret Jeffers joined.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
A little bit late today.
It's technically still morning.
Just barely.
Yeah.
It's morning enough. It's morning enough, everyone.
Did you see I brought your cup?
I did.
Good morning.
Happy coffee, happy tea, happy water, or whatever you drink to help you wake up. I'm gonna.
Jeff Burleson says good morning.
I'm marketing properly here.
Yay, we got thumbs up. Daniel Burke joined. Hello, Daniel.
Sorry, we're a little bit late this morning, guys. It's both kids have been home sick for the last couple days, and it's been a mess.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody is healthy and well and taking care of yourself and avoiding the horrible flu that seems to be kicking everybody's butt. So,
Yay! You guys make sure and ingest your local honey.
Yes.
That way you get immunity, or at least build up some kind of resistance to the allergens in your local area.
A booyah, that is correct.
Mary Savage joined. Hi, Mary. I love you.
Mary is Ashton's. If I didn't have Ashton on lockdown, she would probably be dating Mary.
Absolutely, 100%. Laura Sullivan joined. Hi, Laura.
Hey, guys. So this is Morning TnA. I am at Todd Beats on both Facebook and Instagram. You can follow us live on Instagram on my Instagram, which I forgot to set up, so I'm going to do that real quick.
Becky Staggs joined. Hi, Aunt Becky.
Hi, Laura Sullivan. So we are... hi. This is Ashton Anderson, the artist.
Found on Facebook at Ashton the Artist. Also on Instagram at Ashton the Artist, and Instagram at Nails by Ashton. And this is Todd Beats.
Todd Beats on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So that's a good way to cue one another when it's time to say how to announce your social media.
Cool.
Like, you just say my name, and then that'll let me know. Oh, now's when I go, okay, Ashton the Artist.
Okay, I'm down for that. Good morning, Leonel? Leonel?
Leonel?
Flores? Good morning.
Good morning.
I probably totally butchered your name. I apologize. Leo, let's do that. I'm sure that's probably a common nickname for you. If it's not, I'm sorry. Yeah, so Ashton is smiling, but she's not happy.
Mm-mm. This is my mad face.
She and Logan don't agree about certain home decorations. And
Logan's his son.
Logan's my son.
Yeah, it's not really about the home decorations.
He's a very he's a 16-year-old, and if you remember when you were 16, you knew everything, and all adults were stupid, and
especially your dad's girlfriend or fiance. He hates me, basically.
He doesn't hate her.
He hates me, and he hates everything about anything that has to do with me in this house. He wants to throw things away that have to do with me, and he wishes that I weren't here.
She's taking it personal.
Absolutely, 100%.
100% personal.
Well, when you throw my things that I have made very clear that are sentimental value, when you throw them away, that tells me you don't like me. when you're in my presence and you don't make eye contact with me, and anytime I'm around you, you're just constantly slamming things, and you let me know that you don't want me in your presence, like, yeah, that means you don't like me.
Yeah, then he doesn't like me either. Which again, 16.
Right. So I'm, much more forgiving with him than I would be any other human being that would treat me the way that he treats me. But, it's because he's 16 and he knows not what he does.
He's fun and ignorant.
Not fun.
Sorry. Kids are a handful.
You're the one that opened it up. I wasn't even going to say anything
know.
today. I was just going to put on my happy face and do our show. But
Yeah.
you decided to bring it on air.
Well, I wanted to clear it.
I'm one to be open.
We're going to clear it and not be fake.
Yes, and I appreciate that. I'm sure our viewers appreciate that too. But I the reason I'm okay with doing that in front of people is because I know that all people have their own things that they're going through. And usually when you see a person express honesty, you relate and you understand. Like, we all have our own thing that we struggle with.
Yep.
And so showing how we work through that in a loving way is beneficial for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's hard.
Has anybody ever gone through that? Having to be emotionally mature when you don't really want to.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's probably, how did Liz Lemon say it? Oh, I hate realizations.
Oh, yeah. They're the
realizations.
worst. Which is what's not a realization, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's all good.
Well, the hard part for me is that he is a teenager. Because like I said, anybody else were to treat me this way, it would not be pretty.
Yeah, it wouldn't go well.
So it's hard for me because I want to react in a way that stands up for myself, but like, you can't because he's not an adult.
Oh, well, I mean, you can. It's just hard.
I can't. The things that I'm wanting to do in reaction to the way that I've been treated, I can't do.
Yeah.
Because he's not an adult.
Right.
So.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, it was just extra frustrating today because I really, especially the past week, which I know is not that long of amount of time, but I have really, really been working so hard to be even more accommodating than I already am, and to choose my battles, and not only choose my battles, but choose no battles. Because he's not my kid. He is an underage person. So if I have an issue legally, I need to be going to you.
Legally, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the law.
Yeah. So I have really been searching inside myself the past week, especially, like, to find more kindness, more
Patience.
patience.
Lots of patience. God.
And just, yeah. And it's like, I felt like I've just been trying to find a way. I'm just at a loss for words because I've been working so hard trying a different way. Because my first approach when I very first moved in here was just observe mode. Observe the kids, observe their lifestyles, observe how they're used to living, observe how their house is used to being run, and all of that. Well, after about a year of observe mode, you're kind of tired of being in observe mode, and the things that have annoyed you or that you see a better way for things to be done, or like you've experienced this before because you're an adult, so you know, like there's an easier way or method of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And so after about a year of observe mode, I decided, okay, I'm going to start speaking up on those things that I know that are in me, like dying to come out, because those, like, as we know, we need to listen to ourselves.
Right.
So there's that whole like, okay, but I'm having these feelings, and you think that you're holding them in because you're being patient, but what if you're really supposed to be listening to these feelings? Like,
Sure.
they're there for a reason.
Right.
So you're either supposed to act on them or talk about them, or something is supposed to be done about them.
Right.
So then I started expressing myself. Also, from being patient and choosing no battles. I
like that you quoted patient.
Well, because I don't know that it really is patience. Like, sometimes biting your tongue and not saying what's in your mind is not patience. Sometimes it's ignorance. You're ignoring what's going on. And in my experience, being open and honest with what's going on is the best way to handle any situation.
Of course.
Like, even if once you get it out of your mouth, you realize that's not really what you meant to say or how you meant to say it, like, you're still a step closer to figuring out whatever this is.
Right.
And helping those around you figure out what's going on, because of course nobody ever knows what you're really thinking. So, like, open up and let them know. And in my experience, that has made my relationships, strong and whatever. So there comes a point when you're like biting your tongue because you don't want an argument to start, and then you just can't, like, you just feel like there's so much that needs to come out.
Right.
So about a year ago, after a year of the observe mode, I started just speaking up on, like, the minute something would start to bother me. And it was all, of course, little things like the dishes.
Sure.
And the dishwasher being completely empty and people putting dishes in the sink. It's like, who do you think's going to put that dish up later?
Mm-hmm.
And so, whereas in observe mode, I would just observe and let this build and build and build until I got super angry and it exploded in a weird place. So I decided to just speak when I felt it. And I started doing that for a little while, and I was feeling really good because I wouldn't get that whole buildup of, like, anger that would
Sure.
stay with me through my whole day. It would just be like, I would see somebody starting to put a dish in the sink, and I would say, oh, can you put that in the dishwasher, please? And then I would notice, completely gone.
Yeah.
No anger, no buildup, no nothing. And I was nice about it, spoke on it right when I felt it. So I was feeling good about this. And then there was this blow up, I don't know, a month or so ago about that specifically, and how that was not being received the way that I intended, I guess. It was not being received in a way that I wanted it to be. It was being received as I was trying to be the new mom, and he doesn't need another mother, which, understandable. And I really, in that blow up, Logan and I had a one-on-one where we're, like, looking each other in the eyes and actually talking about, like, what's bothering us, so we can get to a better place. And that's what he let me know. Like, he let me know that he felt like I was trying to be his mom, and he has enough people trying to tell him what to do. And frankly, it reminded me of all of the stepmothers that I've had. Sorry, Dad, no offense. But especially as a teenager, like, yeah, you don't want a step parent telling you what to do unless they've raised you and, they've been there since you were a baby and you know them as a parent. But if some step parent just comes into your life as a teenager, like, I didn't want to be told what to do. I remember this one particular stepmom that just drove me crazy. I did not like anything about her, and I hated that I had to see her every other weekend. That was too much for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was really, really trying to look at it from his point of view. So that's when I decided I'm going to start biting my tongue. And what I'm thinking, I'm realizing that I need is I just need my stuff to be my stuff and y'all's stuff to be your stuff. Because there's too many blurry lines about, like, everybody using everybody's stuff in this house. And when my stuff is not taken care of, when my
I
stuff,
love you. I'm not laughing at
no,
you.
you're
being
fine.
upset.
I
love
get
you
it.
very much.
I mean, it's fine. But when things are not being taken care of, and I'm putting the energy in it to take care of it, and my stuff's being thrown away or just shoved to the side, or like I put all this energy into like organizing a room and it'll take like 2 hours or an hour. And then, you know, the second somebody else steps in there, like half of it is disorganized already. I'm just like, okay, so I need to remember that I moved into this house. I moved into this house that this little family has been living in for almost a decade.
Well,
running
and then,
without me.
Right.
When I moved in here, I have very little. I didn't have a lot of stuff. So everything in this house is theirs. And
it's ours, but it's ours.
No, it's y'all's. It is not mine. It is not mine. And I looked at it that way for probably the first year that I was here. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, you proposed and we decided we were going to get married and share a life together. And I, in the past, have struggled with putting walls up and separating myself and not truly opening myself up and connecting with other people because it's scary and I've been hurt in the past. But I didn't want to do that with you. I love you, and you're I can't even imagine a better match for me in my life.
Right.
So,
can I give some preface here? You've been going for a minute, so I'm going to talk for just a second.
Cool.
So for those that don't know, Ash and I have been officially a couple for about 2.5 years. Fast approaching, realistically, 3 years or so. She moved in almost immediately. I mean, not immediately in relation to how long we dated or got to know each other, but immediately from the point that we actually decided we were going to be a couple.
Yeah, like once it was decided, it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we had a very clear connection that that's where it was going, so we dove in, and luckily it was the right decision. The trouble or the problem that Ashton is running into is she very, very badly wants to be a supporting, loving, nurturing role model for the kids, for both Maya and Logan. But unfortunately for Ashton, she's having to do that at a time when the kids want anything but that. And that's not from a... I don't think that's personal for them. I think that could have been any... Oh, come here, babe.
Oh, you're fine. Keep talking.
I think that would go for... I mean, like I said, 16-year-olds don't want to be told by any adults what to do, much less their own parents. I mean, I'm struggling as well. It's just my son, so I have a little more natural patience. I've grown up with him. I've raised him. I understand him, sort of.
Well, and it's just confusing from my perspective personally, not having anything to do with you guys, because I never wanted kids. Before I got with Todd, I never even wanted to get married. I didn't want to be in a relationship. I just wanted to do my thing and my business and my art and go from there.
And then
and so
being all amazing, and she couldn't resist.
Seriously. Because he's awesome. Y'all know.
Sorry.
Y'all already know.
I'm a catch.
You are too, by the way. But you don't have kids.
Right, because I didn't want any. And so then I come into this relationship and, it was perfect because their mother is active in their lives. They are teenagers. They don't want, they're not looking for some extra nurturer or whatever. And so that was fine. That was perfect because then there wasn't a lot asked of me in that role. And so it helped me get warmed up to it. But then, and knowing how relationships work and last, you have to be brutally open and honest. And in those times where you feel like you want to disconnect or lie or put up a wall, those are actually your signs to open up.
Right.
And you would be surprised, like once you do, you will be surprised how your partner reacts to that. Like you might think that they would run away screaming or whatever, but people notice sincerity. You can call it out, even if you don't realize you do, and it makes you empathize with the person.
Right.
So I finally started coming around and like wanting to be completely open with him and loving and accepting of everything that comes with him and everyone that comes with him. And so then I just started going,
which is a lot.
Maybe this is how I'm like supposed, maybe like a mother role is meant for me. And so I really started exploring that. And of course, the second I tell the universe I might be okay with it, it's like, well, we don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
It's like,
because what does the universe do?
I'm so confused.
As soon as you make a decision,
well,
it tests that decision.
It's inertia. I don't say it as it is a test. It's just you're dealing with the momentum of going in this direction and you change directions. So of course you're going to deal with things that aren't going in that direction, that new direction.
Right.
So that part has felt like a stab in the heart, where you're like ice cold and then you finally start melting, and that's when people like go in for the kill. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I want to go back to my ice cold heart. And
Aww.
So that's what's really hard to not go back to. So I really am just needing to get back to appreciation. Appreciating that none of these things are mine. This house is not mine. The stuff in it is not mine. And I get to use it pretty much whenever I want to, but I do need like a space that is mine, that has my things in it, that nobody else is allowed to touch or use. Because obviously, I want to say obviously separation is what's wanted in this situation right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we can still live in the same house and me have my own space with my own things, because I only have like a corner of a room of things, which I'm fine with. Like, I love it that way. That's why I got rid of everything, because I like to take care of the things that I have to the extreme best of my ability. And I do mean extreme. He knows. Like, I get weird about the way and my methods of taking care of things. It's almost a little OCD. But I do that because the energy that anyone has, that anyone's embodying when you are taking care of something, when you are loving something, anything, it doesn't have to be a thing, but in this case it is, like, you're putting that loving energy into that thing so that it lasts longer and it has that energy about it. So then every time you see it, you experience that love that you have put into it and taking care of it. So that's why I love, like, everything being in its place and looking like a display. And, you know, I used to live in an art gallery, so I just got used to the things like looking like snapshots and picture shots, and it's staying that way. And it just gives you, your body and your mind, this like ease when you look at it. It's just like, oh, that feels so good just to look at. And if you constantly set these little displays up around your house with your things, you are giving yourself these positive subliminal messages, so that throughout your entire day, you have all these little things that are helping keep your mood up, you know, because we all have life and real life and things that bog us down throughout the day. So why not set yourself up for success? Make your house look a way that makes you feel good every time you look at it. And also a way of appreciating the things around you, because if you don't appreciate them, they will go away, is by taking care of them. So when you take the time to go, okay, I'm getting this book from right here. I really appreciate this book. This is awesome. Thank you, book. And then you put it back where it goes. Like, that's all appreciation. And it keeps that thing around. So obviously, with these extreme ways that I like to take care of things, you can't do that with every little bitty thing if you have a lot of stuff. So that's where I got rid of a lot of my stuff. I kept the things that I really like taking care of, the things that mean things to me. So it is very hard not to take it personally when I see someone else consistently not taking care of my things.
Right.
So that's why I would love to have my own little space with all of my things that are mine, that are kept the way that I keep them, where nobody, you know?
Yeah.
But this is where I get all confused, because my ideal is to live in a home, because this is what I tried to build with Earth Art House. I tried to build this community where anybody could come and anybody could use whatever's in the house. Like it would be like it's your house.
Right.
But you're expected to take care of the things that are there and put them back where you found them. Or at least if you have a better place to put them, or a place that you think is better or more convenient, like, say that. Say, well, I would like it over here because blah, blah, blah. And then the group together goes, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And whatever makes the best sense to the group as a whole is what you go through. And then, like, you share everything. Like, I was such a sharer growing up. I didn't care about things. You know, my sister would borrow my stuff all the time and I wouldn't care. I would borrow her stuff all the time and she hated it. She hated it. But that I didn't care when she borrowed my stuff, because that's just how I was. Like, they were things. It was like, who cares?
Right.
So it's just so confusing.
What's tough for Ashton is all of her intentions are in the right place. All of her love is in the right place. Her mind is in the right place. She cares about the kids. She cares about the house. She cares about the well-being of everybody. And her efforts to express that care are not being received in the way that she would like. And it's hurting her feelings. I mean, just that is the core of the issue.
Yep.
She cares, she loves, she's trying to show that she cares and loves, and then the kids, Logan in particular, but the kids are a little bit like, that's not, we don't love that.
Yeah. And so I tried to listen to that. And so I totally backed off. I didn't even tell you this. I can't tell you how many times I have done his dishes in the past 2 weeks without saying a word.
Yeah, me too.
Without saying anything. Well, you're his dad. I'm not saying he should make it harder for you, you know, because you're his dad and you're supposed to do it. But, like, I'm an outsider coming in and I'm doing his dishes because they're in my way. Whereas before I would go, hey man, can you please do these dishes? And I'd have to repeat it, whatever. I finally, after he had that conversation with me and he let me know he felt like I was trying to be his mom, and I let him know, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be your mom. I just want to be a friend. Like, we're roommates. I just want us to get along, blah, blah, blah. Like, I totally quit. I totally backed off. I did his dishes when they were in my way without saying a word. And how does he repay me? He throws my sentimental shit away.
Right. So,
it's like, he's a child. He's a child. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So, what Ashton is getting a crash course in is parenting, and the decisions that you have to make as a parent.
Yes.
And
And mind you, I've always been the youngest child, so I don't even have any like older sibling experience. You know, I've never had anyone younger than me that I'm like responsible for.
right.
So it's all new.
Yeah. And so part of what you have to learn how to do as a parent, or at least this is what I have tried to learn how to do as a parent. I am not necessarily concerned about them understanding and applying lessons today. So Logan is 16. He's frustrated. He's moody. He doesn't want anything to do with adults. He has a very short temper, thinks he knows what's best, etc., which we all do at that age.
I did.
And,
Well, mine was a
and,
little bit later, but yes, go ahead.
and so when they continue to defy or behave in a way that you don't like, I mean, some correction is obviously necessary. You want to correct that, but it is most important that you lead by example.
Yes.
And the truth is, for love to be the most effective, it has to be unconditional.
And unconditional love is extremely hard to give to somebody that doesn't respect you and doesn't treat you well, especially when you're not biologically connected to them and you didn't see them grow up. You
Right.
didn't see them as a baby.
I mean, it's always hard.
They just treat you like shit and expect you to have unconditional love for them. It's like,
yeah, I mean, that's hard. It's hard, period.
okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
So, I've been trying to encourage her to remember that we're doing this because we want him to know how to behave like an adult when he actually becomes one.
Yeah.
Not to and forgive me if my son ever watches this, we're not going to stoop to the level of a 16-year-old
Yep.
and bicker and complain and fight and argue all the time about petty stuff. So
I just have this fantasy right now since he threw my sentimental stuff away. Like, oh, okay. So we're throwing things away that mean things to each other now. Okay, let me go ahead and delete your Rust,
right.
which is his game that he's obsessed with.
Yeah. So whatever.
But just speaking on the fantasy makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And makes me go, okay, yeah, I'm not really going to do that. But it would be kind of nice in a dream world.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
But this is my theory and my practice as a parent. And by the way, you're welcome to tell me I'm wrong. Because there is definitely not any right way to be a parent, and there is not a wrong way to be well, there's some wrong ways.
Yeah.
But there's
not a right way.
there is no straight up right
How
way.
comforting is that?
Right.
There's no right way to be a parent,
But there's plenty
but
of wrong
there are
ways.
definitely wrong ways.
So, he's going to be 18 and in 2 years, and I'm teaching him as many lessons as I can, and he can take that advice or not take that advice. But when he turns 18 and life does what we all know life likes to do, which is beat the ever-loving shit out of us,
Yeah.
he will suddenly click back 5-10 years, however long ago this current time is.
Yep, just
and
like I have
multiple
been doing.
lessons, and you start going, oh.
Okay. And that's another practice I'm trying to do is like anytime I feel these moments where I'm having to clean up after him or whatever, I'm just trying to go, remember, your parents did this for you.
Yep.
Remember, your parents did this for you.
And for a lot longer than 2 years.
Okay. I'm just paying back to the universe and giving back what's already been given to me.
Yep. So I love her very much. I love my kids very much. We will get through this. we will grow and become better for it. But as we all know, growth sucks balls.
It's uncomfortable.
It's extremely uncomfortable, especially when you're in the middle of the stage where you don't really know how to grow yet. But you kind of know you have to. So meditation is important, breathing is important, focus is important. Let's read some comments.
Yeah, because we got a lot of them.
Yeah. So
I am, like, you guys are witnessing, like, right now, there's, like, this mini panic attack that's going on inside me, and my whole body is, like, shivering. And so that's when you do the practice that we end all of these shows with, where you just try to, bring your attention to your breath. And sometimes that's all you can do, is just inhale and exhale. Sometimes you can't even get those thoughts to slow down, and that's okay. Sometimes it just needs to run.
Right. Laura Sullivan, 16. Man, I had 2 jobs and lived on my own to escape abuse from a step-parent. It was the right choice for me, I'm sure. By the way, I've actually threatened Logan with that, because we got in a pretty healthy argument one time, and he was basically explaining how he doesn't have his own and he's so tired and he just wants to be on his own and it's bullshit and whatever. And I said, "Oh, would you like to be emancipated? I can totally sign some paperwork and let you be an adult, and you can go get a job and get your own place. It's totally doable. You're 16, you're able to get a car, you're able to get a job. You can totally live on your own. Would you like for me to do that for you, son?"
Yeah.
And he's, his attitude shifted a little bit, because he's like, "Oh, no." So, Laura, I'm glad that you were able to get out of that situation. He's not abused, though, by any stretch of the imagination. Einstein was a genius, and the theory of relativity holds up for a reason. The worst thing in his life is still the worst thing that's ever happened in his life, no matter what it is in relation to anybody else, or how actually hard or easy it is. So he's struggling with what he's struggling with, and for him that's very real, even though for us, 20 years plus his senior, for me at least, it's like, why is everything so dramatic? It's not that big of a deal. Your life isn't that hard, but it is to him. For him. Yeah. So, the patience and the patience is unbelievable.
Well, and that's what I was trying to do, because when we had that big blow up, I came to the conclusion, the way to fix this is by validating his feelings.
Sure.
You can't ever tell anybody, what they're feeling is wrong.
Right.
And what they're going through is wrong. And you shouldn't be mad. You shouldn't be sad. Like, no. If you're feeling something, that is for a reason. You have the right to feel that way. Sure. Let's be sympathetic to that. So that's what I've been doing. And then he throws my shit away.
Yeah, but there's a lag. There's always a lag in these transitions. So there was a lag from the time that Ashton first moved in, and everybody was happy, because compared to my ex, Ashton is compared to anybody, Ashton is phenomenal. Okay. But like all human beings, she has her own expectations and requirements and needs and all of that, which usually is not always in perfect alignment with other people on Earth, much less the people in your own home.
Right.
So the kids are trying to adjust, she's trying to adjust, and I'm just kind of in the background, unfortunately, fine, because I have dealt with way worse.
Okay, and maybe that's why you're so amazing, but I have to give you credit on that, because...
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I have to give you credit on that because, and I think this is where most blended families really struggle, is like, okay, so you're supposed to be 100% open and honest with your partner. But what if that open and honesty, and I'm not saying this is mine because it's not, but what if that open honesty is that you don't like your partner's kids?
Right.
How do you be open and honest about that without hurting their feelings and them taking it personally and them not getting mad at you and it not causing an argument, blah, blah, blah? Well, luckily, I have a partner who whatever, his like, it's like your pessimism has given you this super thick skin. And so, like, he loves when people criticize him. He loves, like you and Brian's relationship. They love, like, hating on each other and making fun of each other. And he's just really good at not taking things personally. And I'm trying to adopt that as my own, but I am a lot more sensitive than that, and I take things personally. I can't help it. I'm working on it, but right now, like, it's just like, how do I not take that personally? You're throwing my shit away.
Here's the reality. Blood or not blood, your kids are not your kids, friends, family, human beings, two individuals, whether they're related or not related, are different. Right. They are not the same.
Right.
And for some people, they assume that because they're your kids that you can get along, or because they're this or that you can get along, or because at one point you were in love, you could get along, etc. The reality is that everybody is so individual. People can't always like you. You're not always going to be liked. Mm-hmm. You're not always going to be loved. It doesn't matter what your intentions are. It doesn't matter what you want for that other person. If it is out of alignment from what they want, they're not going to accept it.
Right.
So when she gets frustrated and she says something like, I'm really struggling with my relationship with your son, I can absorb that, number one, because so am I.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, he hates me. And I'm like, I mean...
He hates everyone.
He's
That's what he said to me before. Don't take it personally. He hates everyone.
Like, there's not going to be an adult there's going to be very few adults that he's going to look up to and respect in a way that he is like... that adult feels respect.
Right.
It's just that age. I mean, 16, I can't speak for women, but especially as a man, there's something that kind of takes over you. And I think it's part of that alpha manhood thing trying to come out, mm-hmm. that you can be independent and you are a man and et cetera, and you don't need whatever. So he's dealing with all of those new emotions. He's becoming an independent individual and realizing that he has his own thoughts and his own feelings and all of that, but he doesn't really know what his are.
Right.
He doesn't understand
knows,
himself.
I have different thoughts, so whatever you're going to say to me, I'm going to do the opposite.
Right. I don't.
So that way it's not yours, it's mine.
Right.
It's like, well, that doesn't mean it's yours, because it's still mine, because you're basing what you're doing off of mine.
Right. So he's, it's a struggle. It's a struggle loving somebody that doesn't give you the kind of love and respect back that you might expect from your actions. Even a sign, just a smile, or just eye contact with me. Anything. Yeah. He'll any small thing that is easy for you to do. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. And that's the other thing is, like you were saying, you think his language of love is acts of service, mm-hmm. which is not my language of love. I mean, obviously we all need a little bit of all of them, but my languages of love, my two top ones are words of affirmation, super easy, and touch, super easy. This is why I think everybody loves me, because the way that I receive love is all you have to do is tell me, and all you have to do is hug me. That's it. That's all I need. This kid needs acts of service. So I'm like, great. So I'm unappreciated, yet the only way you're going to receive my love is if I do something for you. Mm-hmm. So you already don't appreciate me, but now the only way I can tell you that I love you is by doing something for you. Taking time out of my day, taking energy out of my body to do something for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I want to do. But I've been doing that. And it'll take some time.
He doesn't care.
Well, I mean,
yes, I know it will take time.
It takes time. I mean, you can't. Your changes in you when you're trying to work on a relationship with somebody cannot come off as I'm only changing so I get out of you what I want out of you.
Right. That is very true.
Okay, you can't go, oh, you need me to do acts of service? Okay, cool. Here's 2 weeks of acts of service. Do you love me yet? And then him be like, oh, of course I do. Thank you so much. Now our relationship is fine.
Right.
For a little while, he's going to be like, you're just trying to buy my love right now, and I don't believe you, and you don't really care about me, and you're just trying to get me to care about you, and I don't want to care about you because I've cared about enough step parents and adults.
Well, and honestly, that is comforting to me, knowing that time will tell.
Yeah.
Because that's what I have. That's what I have to give, and I know where my head is. I know where I will be, in the years to come, and so. Yeah. Even if it takes 10 years, he'll see, I'm just here trying to love you, and that's it.
He will get there, because if you continue to move forward unconditionally, and when I say unconditionally, like, I love my son to death. There is nothing he will ever do that will make me stop loving him. However, as a man, as an adult, I am going to teach him how to treat people. And if part of me having to teach him that is me saying, listen, when you behave this way, I'm not going to support that behavior. When you turn 18 and you become an adult, if you want to stick around this house, you have to behave like an adult that lives in a house with other adults. Right now he has the benefit because he's my child. So I have to be more tolerant. I have to be a little more patient. I have to let things go. I've got to make an effort to help teach him, because it is the job of the parent, the teacher, the sensei, whoever, to make sure that the student learns. It's not the job of the student and the whoever to figure out how to understand something that they don't understand. That's impossible. You can't understand something you don't understand.
I get that. But it just makes me think of, there was a philosopher that I studied a long, long time ago, so I don't remember his name. It was like my first year of college, which I was still in high school, actually. But he was a teacher, and the only way he taught was by answering questions.
Right.
So you had to ask the right question. So you as a student have your job to want to learn and to seek things out, which he does, though. He does. He just focuses on his own stuff.
He's only going to want to learn. All of us only want to learn the things we are ready to learn.
Right.
And Ashton right now, for example, she wants to learn how to be a good role model, step parent, motherly kind of thing in the context of this relationship. That's why you're doing it. That's why you're working on it.
That's true.
And so that's why you're trying. If you don't care, you're not going to try.
Right.
You're not going to make an effort.
That's true.
So the struggle of getting to the point where you learn is there, but the desire to learn is also there. If the desire to learn isn't there, the struggle won't exist, except that you're going to be pissed off that somebody keeps trying to get you to learn it. That makes sense. So we're gonna Miyagi this kid, okay? Sorry, Ashton doesn't remember much.
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
I just know the song.
Karate Kid.
I don't know.
So everybody that knows, Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel-san karate by teaching him other skills that he could not see were actually benefiting him in this other thing. Like he taught the kid without the kid knowing he was being taught. So that's what our job is in this role, is to teach and help him grow. And at some point he will get in the tournament or the fight of his life, and all the lessons that we've been teaching that he thought was bullshit, he's going to realize meant something. He's gonna wake up and go, oh, that's what he was talking about, and then that's when that stuff will take effect.
So I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And I agree with what you're saying for parents. But I feel like this moment in my life is teaching me, you're not here to be a parent. You're not here to be a teacher. You need to focus on your own life. because this has nothing to do with me.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to disagree. You do need to focus on your own life, but this is your own life. This is your own life now. Me, the kids, is your life.
Okay, so what I mean is my own stuff, my business, my things. Like, that's what I remember as a teenager when my mom would meddle in my shit. I would be like, oh my God, go focus on your own stuff.
Right.
Focus on your own stuff. Do you not have your own life to be living?
Yep.
Yes, I'm not his mother. I'm not even his stepmother yet. He clearly doesn't need another parent, doesn't want another parent. So why am I meddling? Right. I need to focus on my own stuff. I have a purpose in this life. I have things that need to be accomplished in this life for bigger reasons.
Right.
Like Earth Art House is a community that I want to build so that there is a specific and safe place that people can come to and be themselves and express themselves and be around art and local musicians and blah, 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 blah. Like, that is my higher purpose. That is my calling to provide, to help better this world. That's what I need to be focusing on, not things that are yelling in my face saying they don't want attention. I need to focus on the things that are wanting my attention.
Right.
To me, this is the universe going, this is not where your attention needs to be right now. But like, when something is telling you it doesn't want your focus, then don't put it there.
Right. Agreed.
So.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Laura Sullivan's.
I'm trying to go back to where we
got
left
a lot.
off. Yeah.
That's why I kind of moved on, because I was like, we're way deep here.
Oh, I didn't realize you had moved on.
Yeah. 16 man. Yep. Do you have a designated, Laura says, do you have a designated art studio space to retreat to?
Yeah, inside the house.
Yeah, and we can't turn the music up too loud.
Yes, and this was something else, because that's how it was for me at Earth Art House. I had the art studio, and the music was on all the time because it was an art gallery where people would come in. So it's like a shop, you know, you have music on, and it's loud, and it's entertaining, and people have a good time there. And so this is how I'm used to operating and living, because I lived there. And so then I'm all excited when I first move in here, because I'm like, yeah, there's teenagers there. They're going to love this. We're going to listen to loud music all the time and create art. And they're like, can you keep it down?
Yeah.
Can you please keep it
Logan's
down?
a little bit of a noise Nazi.
It's like, but honestly, I think it would have been anything. Any action that I did loudly, he would have become a Nazi about. It became the noise because that was the very first thing that I was like, hey, I'm here. And he's like, can you turn that down, please? I need to show that I have control over this house that you're paying for.
Yeah. He's, 16.
Yes. That's why I'm forgiving.
Hi,
if
Jeff.
you weren't 16
Hey,
and
Craig.
you would not.
Laura, clear expectations. I'm sorry you're feeling like your environment isn't yours. That is the worst. And Laura, that's a lesson that I had to learn with my ex, and that I have tried to do with Ashton despite what's going on. Is one of the things that happened is I was a little too controlling of my space. And like Ashton, my ex didn't have much. She moved into our home, and I didn't allow her to express herself from a decorative standpoint as much as I probably could have, little things like that. And Ashton has made that effort. It just hasn't been as well received, unfortunately. Let's see. Kids are not ever going to be gallery perfect.
Right. And I totally understand that. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what I came to recently, is that, like, who am I to ask that? Like, I come in here and I'm like, okay, here's the way these dishes are going to be organized. And they're like, these are our dishes.
Right.
That we've been doing this way for 8 years. So, like, I totally get it. And that's why I had to go back to the space of, this is y'all's stuff. This is not my stuff. If I'm using it, I need to be extremely appreciative because it's not mine. I have my things that need to be taken care of by me in my way. These things are y'all's things, and that's fine.
Well, I mean, what I would like to see happen, if I'm honest, and I'm only saying this because you actually brought it up a few minutes ago. You said if the house, like, if I see something that's better and the house talks about it and the house is fine and etc., then that's what we do. What I would like to see happen is I would like to see some of the changes that we would like to make to be discussed as opposed to just implemented
Absolutely.
and then expected that that's what's got to happen.
Right.
So
Because that's kind of what I did. I would just go.
I let her.
And it was because I didn't see the order. I saw this man has been a single dad for so long and he's struggling keeping order in this house. So let me help. And so I would, make things look pretty and take care of them. And what I envisioned was people going, oh my gosh, thank you. This is so much help. This is so nice. This is so much easier. And instead it's like, this isn't where this goes. Or it wasn't even that. It was just move your stuff. All this hard work that you just did, just put it back. It's like, okay.
She couldn't see the order. She had her order that she liked. She saw the way I did things and considered that disorder, not necessarily realizing that just because it isn't her order doesn't make it disorder, for anybody that understands. So that's kind of where our balancing act has been. Like, what is order for me? What is order for her? Where's the thing in between that we can kind of meet and compromise? Sometimes I'll just let her do stuff. Like, she decided to redo the dishes and whatever, and it's like, I don't care. Like, I can still reach the glasses, I can still reach the plates and the bowls, no matter which shelf they're on or which direction. I didn't care as much. But for the kids, that was disorienting and frustrating, and like children, they put emphasis in the wrong places on what's the most important. And what was most important to me was that Ashton felt like she had a say, was that she has a home.
And you did make me feel that way. And that's why I started implementing things, because I was going, okay, cool. He wants us to be equal partners. We're both taking care of this house, that these kids are only in here 50% of the time. There's that at the beginning. It's not this way anymore, but at the beginning, we would have 1 week off, 1 week on. And so that week off, like, it's our house.
Right.
And for me, coming in to this new house that I'm responsible for, when the kids would come on their week, like, they were visitors.
Right.
I wasn't seeing this as, like, this is their home.
Right.
I was seeing it as, these are guests.
Right.
So I'd have the bathroom all ready and have the towels all folded perfectly nice and, like, clean everything up. And then I'm kind of expecting, subconsciously, I was kind of expecting things to be taken care of the way guests take care of them. Like, you go, oh, this person loves their bathroom to look nice and in order. Let me make sure I keep it that way. Like,
right.
But of course,
ask any hotel manager how guests behave.
A guest in someone's personal home.
Yeah.
Like, would you? I can't even.
I wouldn't.
Well, really?
But
I've seen the way that you've left the bathroom at your sister's house.
Moving on. Laura Sullivan, time will heal all. The boy will grow and realize you are not the enemy. Exactly.
Well, and
unless we become the enemy, which is careful.
And I don't want to expect that, because you can't predict the future. I just need to make sure that I am taking these lessons as lessons that I want to learn to better myself, and that's it. I don't want to have any expectations on how they're going to react. I don't want any of that. Like, I need to just do it for me, and that's it.
Wait until his first crappy roommate in college. I've tried to tell him this.
I know. I can't wait.
And, like, when I talk, I'm like, I'm not trying to be like do it this way.
Parent.
I'm like,
yeah.
You're probably going to have to deal with these issues
with any
you're
roommate.
in life.
Yes.
Any roommate. Girlfriend, future wife, boyfriend, friend, whoever it is. Tim Tabor joined. Laura Sullivan more. She said, bad hippie move, make him eat on paper plates.
I wish.
Aaron Jean, Orca Brothers, I love your beautiful spirit.
Aaron.
Ashton, I see your heart. Aw, Nicole
Aaron
Booker
knows.
joined. Jace.
Aaron was a almost step parent for a while, and she knows these struggles.
Bud Burner, love you guys. Y'all are awesome. Laura Sullivan, drop him off. We will listen to lots of violent femmes, and I will tell him stories while he helps me prime. I'm not sure what she's saying there, but I don't think that would go well.
He's not sure what you're saying because when they're long comments, it kind of like cuts off the end and ellipses, so we don't see the whole thing.
Bruce Buckner always needs a kid to carry tile.
Yeah, that was something else. Like we were trying to get him a job because we really think that would really put things in perspective or help put things in better perspective for him and help him understand like what it takes to actually have things and care for things. And he's all, especially before he turned 16. Well, I can't get a job. I'm not even 16. I'm like, excuse me, but all of the men in my family have been working since they were 14 years old. Like, if you really want to make money and take care of things, you can. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Right, exactly. So and this is where his struggle is he thinks he wants to be an adult. He thinks he knows what it means to be an adult.
Of course.
And he thinks he's ready to be an adult.
Teenager.
I just want to be alone, and I'm going to do things this way, and I'm so, sick of this, and, life is bull. You guys don't know nothing.
This is what cracks me up more than anything, when he's all, I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone. And the second he's alone, he's calling Todd every 5 minutes.
Can you pick
Where's
me up,
this?
Food? Where's this? How much longer? When are you going to be home? What's happening?
It's like, I thought you wanted to be alone.
Like, dude, you can't even wake up on your own.
You can't even figure out what food is in the pantry by yourself.
You can't do your dishes without being
literally called Todd to ask him what food they have when Logan's the one at the house. It's like, what?
Yeah. So he thinks he wants to be an adult, but he wants to be an adult with kid responsibilities, which means he thinks that being an adult means that you get to just do whatever you want.
Of course.
Which is the exact opposite of what being an adult is.
Right.
It's so messed up how stupid we are.
Yes.
How stupid human beings are.
Yeah.
We think we know everything until we learn it, and then we learn it and we try to teach it to somebody else, and that person is doing the same thing to you, like you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
That's why I'm confident in my lessons with him, because he doesn't have to hear me right now. Life is going to teach this kid.
Yeah.
Life is going to teach the lessons that he needs to learn in the time frame in which he needs to learn them, just like they've taught us. Mm-hmm. Life has taught us the things that we need to learn if you're open. Mm-hmm. And the struggle comes from refusing to learn the lessons.
Yes.
Or continually looking for the wrong solution to the problem. So a wrong solution, for example, would be thinking that drugs, alcohol, substances is what makes you happy. And it's not real happiness. That's synthetic happiness that cannot be sustained, that cannot be maintained. It's never going to really grow. And if anything, it's actually going to diminish. Whereas true love, like this, unconditional, I love you, kid. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to support you and love you and make sure you know you're loved. Because if there is one thing on earth every person needs, I think everybody should have the right to know that their parent is always available to them and is always going to love them and be their safe place.
Yes.
I don't want my kids to hurt. I don't want them to be in pain or miserable or any of that stuff. But you can't prevent it. It's impossible.
Well, and it's good. We don't want to avoid pain.
Yeah.
Pain is there for a reason. It's there to put us in a different direction.
Right. It's a signal. It's a signal that something is off and needs to be modified.
Yes.
So he'll get there.
Yes.
She'll get there.
Yes.
By the time he's 18 and ready to move out, and then he lives on his own for a couple years, their relationship will be awesome, etc.
We'll see. I mean, I welcome it. I welcome it with open arms, but I'm not going to expect anything.
Right.
Silas Marlowe joined.
Hi, Silas.
Hi, Silas. We get to go see
Tearing
her
up
next
good
month.
papa. Aw, thanks, Laura. I do
He
my
is.
best.
He's the best dad. He's amazing. It's amazing to watch. I get frustrated because he's a little more lenient than I would be if I had my own kids, but I don't. And so really I can't say because I don't know how I would be.
There you go. That's what I try to remind her. She's like, oh, if I had it my way, and anybody that doesn't have kids, if you think that you know how you would be as a parent, I have news for you. You don't know shit.
And even if you have kids now and they're young kids and you're like, when they're teenagers,
Yep.
I'm gonna blah, blah, blah.
You just do this.
You don't know. You don't know because they push your buttons. They know where they are and they push them.
I can tell you this. I was at a point where I didn't think Logan was ever going to go through a rebellious stage. Both of my kids are phenomenal.
They are.
Kids.
They're
They're
amazing.
both phenomenal. Straight A students, honor roll, like premium, all that stuff.
Like all on their own, too.
Yeah,
'Cause
not help from me.
Todd never pushed them to be that way.
Nope.
They're just...
So they're just naturally amazing. But you know, those hormones hit, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, whatever.
Whatevs.
I was a dick. I was a super asshole, probably until I was about 25.
Well, and that's
so-
kind of something that has been comforting. I've been using to comfort myself too, is that instead of me looking at it as, why is this happening to me? I'm going, maybe Todd needs to learn a lesson here. Maybe this isn't even for me. I mean, obviously if it's in your experience, it's for you. But I'm like, maybe the bigger picture here is that Todd is supposed to be learning something about how he was when he was a kid,
Oh,
or,
sure.
you know, and it has nothing to do with me. So I really do need to just take a step back and do my own thing, be here, love and support, open arms if I'm wanted. But other than that, like, I just need to focus on my own shit.
Yeah, and it's also important that you think about what you really want the relationship to be like. Okay, and I'll relate it to a common phrase, which is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? So the principle of that is, what is your end goal? Is your end goal to make sure you and Logan have a good relationship on your terms, or is it to make sure that you and Logan have a good relationship?
Yeah.
So if your goal is for you two to have a good relationship, then you just keep adjusting.
Right.
Not too stern, not too strict in whichever method you're employing. I mean, I've had to adjust. I was, for about 6 months to a year, I was trying to be a little more strict with him because of how much he was rebelling and pushing back and all this stuff. And it was just creating more tension.
Right.
And so I was clearly like, well, this isn't working at all. Time to shift gears and change. So because the most important thing to me is that my son knows that he is loved and accepted and appreciated by myself and whoever I am with. Preferably, at the bare minimum, myself.
Right.
But ideally from both of us, that he feels that. So we'll get there. We'll get there. And this is a really long episode.
Yeah, it's 12:14.
Yeah, that's a little over an hour already.
I know, it's crazy. It went by so fast. Because I was just like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
Ashton's struggling a little bit with that. But
Well, and like literally, this incident just happened this morning. So, like right before we got on the show, I found out that he'd thrown my stuff away. That's why I couldn't find it. So that's why it's just all coming out.
yeah, and so I hesitate to do this. We'll do this off camera.
I don't mind.
So my instinct is to say, with love and compassion to you, that part of the reason he reacted the way he did was because he expressed himself about those shells multiple times.
Just once.
Okay.
But he expressed himself.
And more or less you were like, I don't want to say you said you don't care.
Well, he said they're in my way, and I said, well, they're there for a reason, and it's not decoration, by the way. It's feng shui to lessen the amount of money that comes out of this house.
Right.
I put seashells for all of you feng shui knowledgeable people out there. You can put like seashells or rocks to cover the metal in your sinks, and it helps keep the energy of abundance inside your house.
Right.
And that's why I did it, because we were struggling at that time, and my method, so I was doing everything that I could to keep abundance in this house, and that's one of the things. And so I explained that, and that was it.
Right.
And then they stayed there. I would see that they were moved a little bit, and I was like, you guys just spit on them. Just spit on them. Because that's why they would move them. Well, I spit in that sink because I'm brushing my teeth. Well, okay. Like, spit on them. They're just seashells, and well, what about loogies? Well, then clean them off. Like,
right.
And that's the part of the abundance energy. Do you understand? Like, the way you have to take care of that is manifesting the abundance energy.
Right.
So leaving those shells there, spitting on them, doing whatever as if they're not there. Like, the water drains. It's not like they're plugging up the drain.
Right.
They're just covering that metal part to keep the abundant energy inside the house. And when it's dirty and it's too dirty for you to look at, you don't like looking at it, well, that's the universe telling you need to clean that, just like anything else. Sure. If you don't like the way how dirty it looks, well, then you clean it, especially if you're the one that put the dirty thing on it.
Right.
And guess what? To clean it, you rinse it in water for 2 seconds and rub it and put it back. So, I mean, I explained it. I was just like, well, this is why I do it. And they would be moved when I would come in there, and so I'd move them back, but they'd still be in the sink. And they've been in the sink since that discussion, which was probably 3 months ago. And then all of a sudden today,
way longer than that,
they're just missing. And then, like, I went in there to get the coconut oil that wasn't in its place, and I see the shells weren't there, so I'm like, so they're probably on this counter. So I'm looking all over the counter. They're not on the counter. They're not under the sink where I had found them 6 months ago when we had this discussion. They're not in the trash can. They're not in Maya's room. They're not in Logan's room. So it's just like, okay. And since I had been taking a back seat and decided I wasn't going to address them about my problems, because that was something I was doing too. I was trying to treat them like adults. Instead of going to their dad, I was going to them first, because I'm like, I want us to have an independent relationship, me and you. This is between me and you. If my thing that I want to talk about is about you, then I'm going to go to you. I'm not going to go to a middleman.
Right.
But they're kids, and it was made very clear that I needed to take a back seat. So I stepped back, and that's when I was like, Todd, will you please ask your kids where my seashells are?
Right.
And he found them in Logan's trash. And they are very sentimental to me. They're not just any seashells. They are seashells that my mother has had in her life for decades, and she passed them on to me. And like I said, I let go of all of my things.
Right.
So the only things that I own are extremely sentimental to me.
Right.
And those seashells have lasted all of these traumatic experiences that I went through. So the fact that I even still have them and that they are in any kind of mediocre condition is awesome.
Sure. I'm going to laugh when you read Laura Sullivan's comment.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Laura, I hope you're still here. I love your comment. I'm very curious how it's going to impact Ashton, because she's good about perspective. Go ahead.
Okay. She says, oops. LOL, maybe the dirty dishes in the sink are his version of your shells. Okay, I get it. I was like, I don't understand. Okay, that's
See?
pretty good. That's funny.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good.
That's hilarious.
Life is too short to stay pissed off about silly things.
I'm sure Logan would appreciate that comment too.
Right. Now, and then I will also suggest and have you consider that feng shui is only going to be effective for people that believe in it, I don't know if that's the right term.
No, it's true. That's very true. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to have the energy that those things attract.
Right. So we'll get there.
Sink wars, she said.
That's stupid shit, right, Laura?
Yes.
We're arguing about a sink.
And back to what you just said about like not living in anger and whatever. That is definitely like, that's when I started realizing I needed to let these things go. Like at first I felt like I needed to stand up for these things because for so long I had not stood up for myself. And the problem was that I needed to stand up for myself.
Right.
So then I started standing up for myself, and maybe it's just the way that I was doing it, but what happened was not beneficial for anyone. And I have noticed, I can't even put a time on it because it's happened progressively and it's a slippery slope, but I have woken up in a state of anger, I don't know how many mornings in a row now. And I don't know when that started happening, because we used to talk about how every day was just so happy and so easy. And now all of a sudden it's like really hard for me to not be angry throughout the day.
This is news to me, people, by the way.
Well, it's something that I just started noticing. I think it was yesterday. I was just going, there's a lot of like anger in here. And even though there are things that I still feel are justified, and like I still feel like I should have been standing up for myself, like I think anyone should stand up for themselves. Like if you don't stand up for yourself, no one will.
Right. Do you think Logan is trying to stand up for himself?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We are, I don't think we need to do all kinds of reflection and action and all that stuff. This was a very intimate talk.
Yeah.
Everybody that has stuck around, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for participating with us. You guys mean a lot. Not as much as this woman means to me, or those kids, but would now be a good time to meditate and start signing off?
Sure. I just want to give a thank you to all of you listeners out there. And I hope, I just want to make clear that the reason that we're doing this live and for everyone to see is not because I'm just trying to like bitch about shit.
Right. Definitely not.
It's because we want to show, like, we get told time and time again how much people look up to our relationship, and it gives them hope and all of this and that.
Yeah.
And we do, I guess we just want to be sincere, and every relationship has their hard points and things that frustrate them
right.
and drive them crazy and all of that. So we're just kind of trying to show how we deal with that.
Right.
In hopes that either you'll adopt our way, or it at least gets you closer to your way that works for you.
Yeah. You don't have to, get to your mode.
Yeah.
That's what we try to get to. So, there's a massive amount of love in this house. I know so because the struggles that we are having are actually extremely ridiculous in the grand scheme of things. The things that we are upset about are extremely pathetic and minimal to a lot of families
Seriously.
that would love to have the struggle we're having right now.
Right.
So, just like the theory of relativity with Logan, worse is worse. We have a very, very good life. We have very good children. We have a great home. Yes, there's struggles. Yes, there's obstacles and all that. But man,
But
there's
nobody's dying. We're
dying.
healthy.
Nobody's a drug addict.
For the most part, we have all of the things that we need.
Yep. I mean, both of those kids, no matter how difficult they get, they're going to be amazing human beings. So we'll be fine.
Yes.
Everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Okay, so maybe we could did you have a meditation in mind? Okay,
I mean, I
so
can.
maybe we can do the one that I've kind of been working on in the back of my head, which I had stated.
The other day.
Yeah, one of our viewers had we had asked for requests on what we could meditate on to help you guys, and the only request that we got was kids. It was that one word, kids. And that's why it took me so long, because when she said that, I was like, oh,
Yeah, I do need to meditate
of course that's the one. That's like literally the one word you could have said that like made me go, oh, I don't know how to deal with that one. Like anything else you could have thrown my way, I would have been like, okay, I can make that work and I'll figure it out. But that one, I was like, I got to take some time on that, because that's where my struggle is. My struggle with that, and what I want to focus on, or where my insecurity comes from with that, I should say, is a fear of not being able to provide what is needed.
Right.
Because it was hard enough for me to do that for myself.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I'm in this relationship with you and 2 kids, and it was scary for me. And so I believe, and I can see how anytime I'm reacting with them in a way that I don't want to, or is not serving anyone, it usually, I sometimes have to dig kind of deep, but usually the root of that reaction comes from me being afraid that I can't provide what is needed.
It is almost any frustration, any anger, any pain that you are experiencing in life is very, very, very rarely actually something you are experiencing because of an outside source. It's something that's you're dealing with within yourself. And I had to learn this the hard way with my previous relationship, is the things that I would get really upset with her about for a long time wasn't things I was upset with her about. They were things that I was upset with myself about.
Right.
And I was projecting, if anybody knows psychology, whatever. I was projecting. And so I made it a point to start, anytime I felt like blaming her, or, yelling at her because she wasn't doing the right thing or whatever. Instead, I would reach even deeper inside of me to figure out why I was actually upset. And it's 99% of the time, it's yourself. It's your own insecurities about who you are or what you do or where that thing is coming from that is really the issue. So work on yourself.
Yes.
If you're angry about something, work on patience. Because that anger is trying to teach you something, and you gotta wade through the anger so that you can get to the source, so that you can actually repair that anger instead of just temporarily getting rid of it by yelling at somebody or shooting up or whatever you do.
Okay.
So, would you like to lead then?
Sure.
Do you want me to lead?
I'll lead.
Okay. As always, guys, thank you for hanging out. I am at Todd Beats on both Facebook and Instagram. Ashton Anderson
is on Facebook and Instagram at Ashton the Artist, and also on Instagram at Nails by Ashton.
You can watch previous episodes of Morning TnA on YouTube with proper audio and video. It sounds a little bit better, it looks a little bit better, but it's not live.
Yeah.
But we're working on that. Soon we're going to have like 3 or 4 live things happening at once. So we're getting there.
Cool.
And that's it. So we love you guys. Take 5 to 10 minutes every day to get your mind right, get your mind set with intention and purpose.
Get your mind right.
Remember that above all else, love.
Yes.
And love and patience.
Yes.
So, all right.
Okay.
Sign us out, babe. Let's do this.
All right. So let's begin by bringing your attention to your surroundings. And you can bring your attention even closer to your breath. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. Inhaling and exhaling. And we're going to inhale abundance and exhale insecurities. Watch your thoughts start to slow. Inhale and exhale. Find places of tension in your body and breathe. Inhale and exhale, letting go of that tension. Really relax and settle into your being. Inhale and exhale. See how this world provides everything that you need. Inhale and exhale. You are here today. You have been here for days, months, years, and you've always had everything that you needed. Inhale and exhale. You made it here today. You had everything you needed. Inhale and exhale. Take notice how you've asked things of life. Inhale. And you were provided those things. Exhale. Anytime you've set out for a goal, you accomplished that goal. Inhale and exhale. Realize how right in this moment you have everything you need. Inhale and exhale. You have your breath. It's keeping you alive. Inhale and exhale. You have your body. It is your house for your soul, your house for yourself. Inhale and exhale. Be grateful for your body. It protects you so that you can enjoy all that the world has to offer, which is everything that you need. Inhale and exhale. Know that when the world or someone or any being is asking you of anything, it's the world's way of saying, you have this to offer. Inhale and exhale. Someone asking something of you is not them taking from you, but your opportunity to give. Inhale and exhale. Feel how you only act on thoughts from your highest vibration. Inhale and exhale. As we do in any meditation, let go of the thoughts that do not serve you. Inhale and exhale. When someone is venting to you, know that the words they need to hear will come to you. If nothing comes to you, say nothing. Inhale and exhale. Sometimes providing nothing is exactly what is needed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale the ability to provide. Exhale your insecurities. Be grateful for what abundance you have in your life, and that abundance will grow. Inhale. Exhale, saying thank you to the world. Inhale, watching your abundance grow. And exhale, letting go of your insecurities. Inhale, watching abundance grow. And exhale your insecurities. Inhale the appreciation for being able to provide. And exhale your anger from that which you do not have. Inhale appreciation. Exhale, let go of anger. See that your child is you, asking you. Inhale and exhale. Heal your inner child by providing for your child. Inhale and exhale. Know that when things are asked of you, it's the world's way of saying you have this to give. Inhale and exhale. Inhale appreciation for all that you have, which is all that you need. And exhale appreciation, giving appreciation back to all that has been provided for you. Inhale appreciation. Thank you. Exhale appreciation. Thank you. Feel that gratitude in the deepest spots of your body, in your bones. Inhale appreciation. And exhale gratitude. You are capable of giving and providing. The world will not ask anything of you that you are not capable of providing. Know that you are capable of providing. And the moment will bring you exactly what you need. Start bringing your awareness back to your breath. Inhale. Awareness back into your body. Exhale. Thank you, body. Appreciation for your mind. Awareness in your mind. Inhale. Thank you, mind. Exhale. Now spreading your awareness to your surroundings. Be grateful for your surroundings. They are there for you. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more big inhale. Let it reach the tips of your toes, the tips of your fingertips, the tip of your head, filling your body with healing energy and releasing with an exhale and opening your eyes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Phone died.
Oh, well.
Well,
I guess
there
I'll
it
see the recorded version. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much. I'm at Todd Beats, Facebook, Instagram. Watch me paint live. Watch me paint. Order paint. Paint.
Paint. I'm Ashton Anderson, ASHTYN. I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Ashton the Artist. Also on Instagram at Nails by Ashton. I'm also open to taking appointments for manicures and pedicures today at ultimaterealmofserenity.com. You can schedule your appointment online. And I'm taking a health day.
See you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Love you, babe.
Love you.